With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like expecting the leadership of a team captain on the football field, but getting a sea captain. You wouldn't settle for just anything for your team. Shouldn't it be the same for your insurance? So don't settle for just any insurance when you can go with a leader. State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're listening to Achtung Millwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Birmingham. Accept no substitute.
Welcome, thrice welcome, dear listeners. Welcome to Achtung Millwall. My name is Nick Hart. You find me in the rather harsh environs of the away end at the Valley. A very poor setup. Just managed to push my way through a 3,000 strong scrummage to get into this horrid ground, or the horrid away end. The rest of it don't look too bad, in fairness to him, but the away end is rather, pre-Hillsborough, shall we say. Anyway, welcome to the show. We're here for the South East London derby, the most one-sided derby in football, or one of the most one-sided in football. Just 12 wins for Charlton Athletics since the Football League. Everyone joined the Football League in 1921. 37 wins for Millwall. Why is that such a one-sided derby? I don't know. I've been to a few games where Charlton have come close, but they just don't seem to work for them. Don't seem to click. The last win for the Addicks over the lines was in 1996. I can remember that game. Last time we played here at the Valley was COVID era. It was a Friday night game, if I remember rightly. A score by Jake Cooper late in the game, winning the match 1-0 for the Lions. We're just waiting for the players to come out onto the pitch, listeners. Sprayers going full pelt out there. It's a funny kind of grey, humid, rainy day. 3,000 Millwall have made it to made it to the Valley this afternoon, as I just said. Your Lions lineup: Bender in goal. We've got a back line of Leonard, Kramer, Cooper and Joe Bryan. Midfield two of Luongo and Kundal. On either side of them, Idemo and Marku and Camille Negley up front. The dynamic Joe have yet to click, yet to score, of course, which is Josh Coben and Mihailo Ivanovic. Sorry, listen, I'm working purely from memory here. I haven't got my microphone with me, so I'm working from the iPhone only. I can't see my notes that I've made. So there we are. It's pro sports podcasting for you, dear listeners. Looks like the players are about to come out now. The protective tunnel has been pulled forwards. Here they come. Alex Mills, speaking to the news at Den, said he was really looking forward to local derbies, but he remains a touch nervous. I was a bit itchy and scratchy last night coming into this game. The last time that we lost to Charlton was 1996, which is 30 years ago, coming up for, nearly. And the run must end sometime, mustn't it? But like the man on the gallows, listeners, you just want 5 more minutes, just want one more game before the record finally breaks. Anyway, we'll see. They've gone in for the Arsenal-style waving flags routine. I think they're official flags. There's 2 red ones with Charlton swords on them, and then 2 white ones in the middle with Spirit of 98. That was their playoff week, I think. Famous one, was it, at Wembley? Penalty shootout, if I remember rightly. Huge security presence outside. We've got different means of access to and from the ground. afternoon, listeners. I've come down from the Angerstein Arms direction. I wasn't in there. A bit early in the day for me to get on it. I'll wait till the sun has passed the yard arm. Just left it a bit tight to get in the ground. It's pretty packed outside, listeners. There's old school handy bit of paper to a man in a little turnstile booth, and he clicks you through. So it took a while to get in, but I'm in now. I'm right on the very side of the away end. There's Tristan Kramer coming over, applauding the away fans. Stephen Bender in goal, as we've said. Alex Neil saying how much he enjoys derby football. He says, what's football's all about? Well, as long as you win, Alex, that's the or don't lose. That's the main thing, dear listeners. So anyway, there we are. This ground has changed dramatically from the early years of the 70s when I first came into it. The side stand that I'm looking at was the old East Terrace, which is huge single bank of terracing. The covered end, which would be at the far end, it's all covered now, but there was one end of cover back then that was called the unimaginatively, I always felt, the covered end, just down at the far end from our away. And this is called now the Jimmy Seed stand. And I think this stand was covered in the 80s. Certainly wasn't covered in the 70s. It was just open all the way around the covered end in one rather strange bank of single-tier seats. A double stand of seats. To our left as I look. All gone now. It was abandoned, of course, like Roman Londinium at the end of the Roman Empire. And they came back after a sojourn at various places, actually, Crystal Palace and West Ham. Anyway, enough of all that. Charlton must have won the toss. They want us to attack the home fans. The home fans. Feels like the home fans. The away end in the first half. Against the teachings of the Venerable Bede, dear listeners. Let's hope his wrath comes down on their shoulders. It's going to be Charlton to kick us off. Attacking their home end, Floyd Road end. I think they still call it the Covenant. I don't know. Away we go. This is Joe Bryan now on the left side. I thought played quite well last time we saw him against Rockham. Goes past his man there. Little deft little pass. There's goalkeeper out well in front of Josh Coburn now to take quite early moves by the Lions. Charlton pressing forwards, a little chance on the edge of the penalty area. The 10 outside of the D. Shot is blocked in the sea of blue besocked legs there. Is that a word? Besocked? I've invented it if it isn't. It's not a full house in here, listeners. It's on Sky TV and may have discouraged a few from attending. It's fairly full. I'd say about 3/4 full of the home stands that I can see. And the official away attendance, 3,135. Leonard just looking a little bit suspect to the pace of the 7. Listeners, we got away with that one. I think he's going to be in for a battle this afternoon, Ryan Leonard. A bit like myself, the pace goes, kids. In your mind, you're still as quick. In your mind, you're always 25. Your legs tell you a different story, though. Old Father Time comes to us all. Cheered you up no end listening to this podcast, isn't it, kids? I don't think we get many kids listening to our show, to be frank. We're 10 minutes in, both sides are heavily committed to the long ball. Into the spaces behind the defence, or trying to. So far, neither have really succeeded with much, but that seems to be the basic investment of both sides. Long ball football. Poor ball, Ryan Leonard. There's some sloppiness so far, listeners. This is the 7 breaking down the left side as I look. Trying to feed it through there, but it's going to be brought away by Luongo. Little pause in play whilst two players receive treatment for a clash just inside the Millwall half there, one red, one blue. Just want to give a shout out to Mitch from Hastings, formerly of Bermondsey. He was playing over 40s football with John Rankin the other day. And John asked me if I could give him a shout out. So big shout out to Mitch, now of Hastings, formerly of Bermondsey, Mitch. So big shout out to you, mate. Glad to hear you listening to the show. But anyway, back to the game. This is a free kick for Charlton. That was clearly a clash meriting treatment on the Charlton side of the benefit sheet. So anyway, free kick for Charlton. It's about a few yards left of the centre circle. Floated forwards. Headed in the way. Long ball forward from Cooper. It's a bit aimless, dear listeners, and a bit of discontent is circulating the away end, to be truthful. It's been fairly poor stuff. We're on towards 18 minutes. Another long ball forwards. It's the ball forwards. This is Negley. This is Coburn. Spreads it wide. This is Imaku. What can Imaku do? Cuts back inside. Wanted a touch too long. There was a moment where I thought he might have taken a shot. Tried to go around too many men. He might bend him. But anyway, he's won a corner. First chance for the Lions. In it comes. Near post ball. Goalkeeper punches away. I'm actually thinking of suggesting a rewrite, listeners. See what you make of this. A rewrite to the words of Let Them Come. Traditionally, obviously, it says Let Them Come. Saturday is Cold Blow Lane. We've all come down to cheer. I'm thinking of saying it's Saturday is Cold Blow Lane. We've had our email asking us not to spread hate. I'm just working on the wording. I need a rhyme. Get it right. Every game now, please don't do this, don't do that. I suppose it's a prep for a defence for the any FA inquiries that might come our way, I suppose. Saturday, it's Cold Blow Lane. We've had our email asking us not to smear. They don't quite check out. I'm going to work on that, listeners. I'm going to look on the rhyming dictionary, see what I can come up with. 21 minutes, as you can tell from my babble, 21 minutes into a fairly poor game in truth. Neither side is looking up to much. There's a wanker in the grey. There's quite a few in grey. There's a few there. Well, there's not much in the way of football to keep the crowd entertained, listeners. A lot of aimless balls. That one from Millwall's perspective put straight into touch, so it's going to give Charlton another chance for a long throw. 24 minutes. Taking shorter this time. It's a 30. Ball into the middle. Chance for Negley to break. He's got Ivanovic with him. Forward to Ivanovic. Lovely little feint now behind the defender. They do get away with that one. That's a nice idea. Negley's had I think it's probably about number 3, listeners, all over. I've never favoured a skinhead haircut. It don't look good on me, listeners. Ball forwards, there's Coburn. Chasing back, he's going to come back to the goalkeeper. Can he panic him? Good work by Coburn there. You ever had a skinhead haircut, listeners? I did once. I looked like I'd done 6 months in Wandsworth. Didn't suit me at all, but it suits some people, which is an odd thing, isn't it? I think it was in the era of the early 90s when GQ ran a piece on the machismo of the number 1 all over. I went for it, but it wasn't my cup of tea. Coming towards 27 minutes of a fairly poor game, in truth, dear listeners, so far. Showing on Sky TV, it won't be sent as an example around the football schools of the world. Can't see Pep using it in his training routines as do this. On the bench is one of our new signings. I lost track of all the new signings to listeners. Tierno Ballo is on the bench. I think I saw Sacco. Azu Sacco is his name? The French boy from Rode. Headed down from Imaku. This is Coburn. Edge of the penalty area, right side. Finds Idemo. What can he do? Shot blocked. Blocked from Leonard. This is Kundle. A little bit of Millwall pressure now. Leonard on the left side. In from Kundle. There's Coburn wide. Man making masturbatory gestures over there, us listeners. Can we take offence at that, I wonder? Get an FA inquiry going. Oh, 29 minutes. It's not been great. Going to be really honest with you, listeners. No finesse either side. Oh, for a touch of the continental style that we're all expecting from Derek Mazusako. I'm really expecting French flair from my boy. Nice work by Michael inside. This is Longo crossing the halfway line. He's got Leonard in space. Pressing forwards, Ryan Leonard. What can he do? Ball's poor cross. The quality of our crossing hasn't been great again. Back to Luongo. I don't think shooting is an option for the boy there. This is the marker on the left now, listeners. Cuts inside, he will have a shot. Oh. Wouldn't even have got a point in Australian rules football, listeners. Oh dear. Anyway, that's 32 minutes. 30 on the right side. Looped over the bar there. I think Bender got a touch to it. Referee's given a left side. My words, I think it took a deflection in truth. I don't know if he actually got a hand to it. He did well if he did get a hand to it. It's going to be a left-sided corner on 39 minutes. In comes the corner, left-sided corner. Batted away by Bender. Even was in the penalty area. 1-0 Charlton, dear listeners. 40 minutes. Batted away by Bender. It falls to the... Can't tell you the number of the player there, but anyways, he kind of puts a bobbled shot across the face of the penalty area into the net. 1-0 Charlton.
Fucking hate these twats! Oh, what, we're playing shit, though.
Bloke down it. Bloke having a nervous breakdown in front of me. I'm not convinced about Bender, listeners. I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, he made a few crucial saves, as I've said already, up at Sheffield, but he also makes errors in distribution, which there conceded a chance for Charlton to put the ball into the area, and if you keep doing that, you're going to concede a goal. So, as I say, not convinced. It'd be nice to see Crocombe given a shot. I was interested to listen to one of John Rankin's messages after the Wrexham game, about the lack of leadership, particularly with the Wrexham players parading in front of the West Lower. No response from any Millwall players. I do wonder if there is a leadership gap out there. John was making a point about, no one from the Lions side and against Middlesbrough, where you got the opposition parading and gesturing to the lower tier fans, trying to provoke something, and no Millwall player got involved. I found that interesting. I hadn't noticed it myself. I hadn't thought of it, but he said, would that have happened in the old days? Probably not. A little overlap. This is Joe Bryan on the left side, ball into the box. Oh, fired into the near post. That's gone for a corner. 44 minutes. Left-sided corner from Millwall. In it comes. It's a deep one. Flushes across goal. Cooper near it, not quite on it. 45 minutes. Ivanovic. Coburn. This is Negley.
That's a bit better.
Oh, tried to find Cundall. Nice idea, but Cundall wasn't on the same wavelength there, listeners. To borrow an old radio set analogy. Not much for the Lions fans to get behind, in truth, in this half of football, listeners. Still maybe a minute or two to go with it, but it's been a disappointment for me. We've looked very unimaginative, reliant on long balls to a front two that don't really impose themselves physically. Neither have scored a goal since the start of the season. A £5 million striker in Coburn doesn't look dangerous to me. Ivanovic hasn't looked on it since last season in many respects. Anyway, let's hope for better in the second half. We've got a corner here to get through. It's our left-sided corner. We're deep into the added time. It's taken short. This is the 7. On the left, ball in, deep, over the heads of everybody. He's gone for a goal kick. And there it is. Half-time, Charlton 1, Millwall 0. Very disappointing, as we've said. We'll be back after these messages, dear listeners.
Achtung, Millwall.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
Players are coming out for the second half, dear listeners. Lions are on the pitch, just waiting for the entry of the Charlton side for the second period. Very disappointing first 45. Millwall must be looking to do better in the second half. I thought we were very unimaginative. I thought we lacked any kind of finesse, a lot of passes going astray and general misunderstandings across the pitch. I don't think the front two did well enough physically up front. They're in a physical battle, though they both came off second best in that first period. So here's hoping for better in the second half. Otherwise, it's going to be the first Charlton win over the Lions since 1996 and only their 13th since 1921. We can't be letting that happen, listeners, can we? The Ravens will leave the Tower of London if that happens. And away we go. Millwall now attacking the Floyd Road end of the ground. The injury crisis continues to be a major factor in Millwall life, listeners, isn't it? No Femi Aziz, some of the signings, Will Smallbone, wonderful name. Loan signing from Southampton is not fit for today. I'm reminded of Mrs. Miggins's pie shop. I think I might have said that joke before, but I'm going to say it again. It's my show. Mrs. Miggins's pie shop. Sweeney Todd, but this is Charlton coming down the left. A good tackle there by Idemo Markle. They're right. Markle on the break. Still got the ball. I think Coburn wanted. He finds Negley. Ball into the box. Referee can't wait to blow the whistle. Against us, dear listeners. 46 minutes. Does a mare, puts the ball straight into touch on the right side. Sums up the Millwall afternoon so far for me, listeners. Dire ball straight into touch for a Charlton forward. It's been a pretty tough watch so far. What are we on now? Coming to 48, 49 minutes. This is Charlton pressing on our left. Charlton pressing us, hassling us. I think Alex Neil said before the game, speaking to News at Den, that they have to battle the duels, as the modern football phrase has it. And at the moment, I don't think we can say we're winning those said duels. This is a break here for Luongo. He's got Imarco overlapping on the left side now. Takes his man on. Can he get a crossing? He's come backwards. Back to Cundall. All in deep. Goes wide. This is Ryan Leonard back into the middle. The goalkeeper punches. Who can't get a shot on goal for love nor money, listeners. Ball breaks. The 7 wins a lucky break there. There's a Kramer gives away a free kick to draw a yellow card there, but I think he had to do what he had to do there. 53 minutes. We go 2-0 down. I don't think the reaction will be good here, listeners. There's quite a bit of disgruntlement going on behind me. And we've been very poor. So I'm not knocking that disgruntlement. We've been very, very, very poor, in my humble opinion. Nathan Jones was, of course, a candidate for the Millwall job prior to Alex Neil's appointment. He'll probably do somersaults if he wins this game. Anyway, comes the free kick, shot low and wide and hard, nothing there. 54 minutes. Mill playing out from the back. Oh, what's this, listeners? They give me a hard time. Anyway. Marku. Oh, gets taken as he went past 3 players there. He backs his pace. He hasn't got any natural ability to sway with the ball, what you might call the old school, I don't know, Stanley Matthews, one for the kids. Ability to glide past his man. He puts the ball past his man and tries to beat him for pace. Got taken down there quite hard. For 55 minutes, this is a free kick in a danger position. Mill on the left side, about 3 or 4 yards to the angle of the penalty area. There we go. Negley. Ball into the box, is bouncing around. Free kick given for something or other, I don't know what. 56 minutes. There's a drifty 1,000-yard stare kind of quality to the crowd around me at the moment, listeners. A little bit of abuse for the Charlton. Alex Neil must be thinking in terms of substitutions. I'm not convinced the front two is working, listeners. Much as I would want it to. But I'm not sure it is working. We've got wingers signed. We've got a central midfielder, I think, and Tierno Ballo, the boy from Wolfsburg. Whether we'll see him, Wolfsberger in Austria, not Wolfsburg in the Federal Republic of Germany. It's a long throw in from the left side for Charlton. That's headed back from whence it came by Jake Cooper. But we need something. We need some sparkle, some pizzazz, some elan, some French elan is what we need. Because at the moment, we're looking a bit dreary. I was reading the Will Smith column in the News at 10 online. Listeners, do subscribe for the only local source of journalistic news. There was a great analogy in which he said that the current squad is in the image of Steve Gallen, created in the image of Steve Gallen, which kind of put me in the mind of The Last Supper. I've got a picture of Steve Gallen as having his last supper surrounded by his disciples, the current squad. Anyway, this is a break here. I think my analogy is stretched beyond belief there. This is Negley on the right, inside is Kandel. Luongo, we're just running in, finding it hard to break down the line of red shirts that are in front of us. This is Marku on the left side, ball in, deep. Leonard went to shoot, missed the ball, did an air shot, a bit like me playing golf the other day, listeners, or regularly when I play golf, swing and a miss. This right-sided corner, folded from the right, headed flick header, came off a red shirt. It's gone for a right-sided corner, Millwall. 59 minutes going towards 60. Some naive play, dear listeners, naive play by the Lions. So I'm conceding free kicks when the ball's in play, giving Charlton the route out of the problem. I think the man in front of me's got it right. Moving on. 65 minutes. Negley coming out. And Ivanovic, very disappointing game from Mihailo. Danny Kelly comes in. Ballo's into the game. Oh, red card. Wow. Is that Ballo? I think that was Ballo. No, it's Marku. Marku getting clipped there. Red card for them, Charlton 2. Down to 10 men with 12, 13 minutes to go. This is Ryan Leonard on the right side. Can he get a cross in? His crossing has been dire for me this afternoon, listeners. I know he's Ryan Leonard and all that comes with him, but it's not been great this afternoon for me. We're needing better level of crossing than that. This is Ryan Leonard on the right side. Ram those words down my throat, Ryan. Ball headed around wide. We've looked very aimless, dear listeners. Imaku on the right. Ball into the middle. Batted away by the goalkeeper. Bangura-Williams. Yeah! One each! Disallowed, for fuck's sake. Oh, my giddy arm. That was in. Could that be the moment? Disallowed for something or other. Starts pissing with rain now, listeners, just to compound our misery. Charlton, in fairness, have been more canny through the game in drawing free kicks, falling over at appropriate moments. Referees bought it every single time. They've won a free kick here. We're on 83 minutes. At 25 yards out. Left of the right of the set of the D. It's taken short. This is the 11 into the melee. Lovely little ball out there. Play advantage played. The Luongo was being pulled back bad in front of the referee. Imaku on the run inside now. This is Luongo. Millwall pressing at last, looking a bit more dangerous than we have been for the whole game. This is Bangura-Williams on the left side. Now to Ballo on the left side. Cross into a red shirt. Ball in from the left. That was Kundal. There's no one there. Oh. That's a depressing thought. Charlton till you die. Anyway, free kick. 28 is over it. On their left side. Right as we look. In it comes. Bender collects, thankfully. This is Jake Cooper. Finds Danny Kelly. Crowd want to see some action. This is Luke Kundal on the left side. Ball fired in at close. Yeah! Bangura-Williams! 87 minutes, fired it from close. Ball in the middle, falls to Ra'ess Bangura. 1-inch Millwall. Jesus fucking Christ almighty. Ball fired it from Luke Kundal. Ra'ess Bangura-Williams from close range, slots it in. Fuck me. 1-1. The bloke in the Millwall shirt in the Charlton section over there. Shows his moment to reveal himself, listeners. There we are, 88 minutes now. We haven't restarted yet. The man's doing the old school 1970s walk of honour around the side of the pitch. They're going to throw him out, I think, rather than let him into the away end, as was once done as normal. Anyway, in comes a corner, listeners. It's deep. Headed up on, taken on the line. Game has turned really with that sending off. Mill have finally established more space and attacking pizzazz. We're into added time. I don't know how much added time has been allocated. This is a late free kick. Luongo, deep ball. Trying to find Cooper, but the goalkeeper takes. There's full time, one each. Well, what can I say about that, listeners? The Lions looked much improved once the sending off took place. Finally, we found time and space. The introduction of Ra'ess Bangura proved critical with a goal. Overall, I thought a very disappointing Millwall performance. Obviously, the crowd here are agog with the record continuing. Never beat Millwall, as you can tell. There we are, dear listeners. Finishes Charlton 1, Millwall 1 from the Valley. I will be back, hopefully speaking with Ben Anthony after these messages.
If you thought goldenly breaded McDonald's chicken couldn't get more golden, think Golder, because new sweet and smoky special edition gold sauce is here, made for your chicken favorites at participating McDonald's for a limited time.
Brooks Running reminds us that we're all powered by something. Whether it's the me-time energy of a run after a day at the office, the electrifying energy of your first marathon, or the infectious energy of a group run with your friends. No matter what energy powers you, Brooks has gear specifically designed to unleash it. So lace up and let it out. Let's run there. Visit brooksrunning.com today to learn more.
Make your next move with American Express Business Platinum. Earn 5 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. And with a welcome offer of 150,000 points after you spend $20,000 on purchases on the card within your first 3 months of membership, your business can soar to new heights. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum. Amex Business Platinum. Built for business by American Express.
Achtung, Millwall.
I want to give a shout out to our friends John Kelly and Will Scott over at News at Den. Many of you will know that News at Den is the go-to site for everything Millwall. It's part of the Southwark News, the only newspaper with a dedicated Millwall reporter who follows the Lions all over the country. What you may not know is that Southwark News is an independent small business with no investors, no big media company, nor multi-millionaire owners. It's a rare breed, a local paper for local people. And John and Will get the Millwall stories that no one else can. A lot of their stuff is free to read, but the in-depth pieces are for subscribers only. It's just £3 a month or £30 a year, and we think it's a proper bargain. By paying, you're supporting local journalism done the right way. You can sign up by visiting southwarknews.co.uk and clicking on the News at Den section. southwarknews.co.uk, click on News at Den Plus.
Welcome back, dear listeners. Welcome back to what could have been a very depressing conversation with Ben Anthony. But Ben, as it is, we've got the glee of that late equaliser from Ra'ess Bangura-Williams. I thought we were going to come close to losing our 29-year run there yesterday, I must admit.
I was worried you'd given me a cursed game, Nick. It was a bit
no one will come on my shows. I'll struggle for guests, listeners. Oh dear, it was a tough watch yesterday, Ben. I mean, I was there. I think you watched it on TV. I mean, it was a very poor performance, particularly in the first half, and for a large stretch of the second half. For me, there's a lot to unpick in that, but it was just such a hard watch, really, with a bit of late drama once the sending off happened. How did you see it?
Yeah, we don't get an awful lot of luck at Millwall, and when we do, we should grab it with both hands. We played our get out of jail free card big time yesterday, I thought.
Yeah.
First half was really, really poor. I think I've seen a quote from Alex Neil saying it was crap.
Crap. I used that word on News at Den. Rubbish, says the BBC, because it's got higher Ruffian principles of language. But the news at Den probably took it more realistically. He said it was crap. We were rubbish in the first half, and he says he was angry at half time. One thing that struck me since he's arrived, I do rate him as a manager, listeners, but he generally maintains a fairly calm persona, Ben, doesn't he? So for him to say he was angry and they saw or heard a different side of him, I think is quite an admittance by him, because I must admit I was at the end of my tether at half time. I couldn't see what was not working there. It was a very odd showing, I thought.
They did need it. I think we're coming off the back of an international break where everyone's been seething for 2 weeks because we were pretty poor in the last game as well.
Yeah.
the loss against Wrexham. So, it's been a rough couple of weeks with that in the back of your mind. And then to see that kind of performance in a local derby, not perhaps one that we're the most sort of overexcited about. There are other derbies that we're perhaps more interested in, but there is a record there that we definitely want to maintain. And so the pressure was on. And in the big moments, that's when you sort of see if your squad's up to it. Are they going to stand up Millwall style in the really big moments? And yesterday was potentially a big moment that we could have big time slipped up on.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point. I think when I was in the ground, I was obviously speaking to myself as I do. But there was a message, I think John Rankin made a message about leadership, what we might call Millwallness, I'm going to use the phrase. And I think it's a similar point to the one that you're making there. There's some really good players in our side. I mean, the lineup yesterday, given the injury crisis we've got, I couldn't really argue with the lineup. We might want to talk about the tactics, the 4-4-2, which doesn't seem to be working as we have all hoped. But whatever your tactics, whatever your lineup, you want to see some bottle out there, Ben. I think that's the thing that didn't seem to be there in the first half, particularly. It just seemed to be like a meek acceptance that we weren't going to be very good today, and that was that almost. And I think that's what really hurt. There was booing in the ground at half time with some of the poor passing, some of the wayward choices being made. Which I don't like to hear, because I don't think it's particularly constructive and it doesn't help us. But people pay the money, people react, and that was the first time I've heard it under Alex Neil's tenure. Because to date, one thing we haven't lacked is energy and fire, and that wasn't there yesterday, was it? For the most part, anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Injuries have played a part. We have to acknowledge that the entire central midfield would be different. With three central midfielders down, who probably would have started over the two that did yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean, Luongo did actually put in a reasonable performance. I thought he was.
I think the nearest we've got to a leader is Luongo out there, but he's a different kind of player. I don't think he's not a vocal player. I don't think he sets an example, which is great, and I like him actually. He's the nearest to a Millwall player that I saw on the field yesterday. Some of the others, I think, just seem to faded slightly. I mean, I don't want to dig out particular players, but certainly the front two. Do you think they're working, Ben? I mean, I think Alex Neil said in one of his interviews, might have been with Millwall TV, that we got a lot of good stuff from them last season, goals. But so far this season, they seem like two strangers to each other, and 0 goals between the pair of them. Is that service, or is that just lack of imposing themselves on the game for you?
No, I think they are lacking. I think 5 games, the only contribution I can think of from either of them was Coburn hitting the post. Was that against Middlesbrough?
Yeah, and Ivanović's nod down for the goal at Sheffield, the winner.
Okay,
but that was one moment. There's a nice little nod down. It fell to Kundal, who put it away nicely.
It's not enough. We're sacrificing possession, really, because we're a player short in midfield against all these teams playing 5 in midfield. And with that, you need some kind of end result from the 2 that you're putting up front. And we've not seen that from them. So the question has to be asked, why are we still sacrificing a position in midfield for 2 players that aren't going to give us the goals? That's the harsh reality of it.
I think the answer to that question probably it takes us back to the almost the Neil Harris question as to who picks the team and why do we pick the team. Now, I think Neil Harris was mistaken in his view of Ivanović. He's clearly a much better player than I think Harris was prepared to give him credit for. But we're playing Ivanović and Coburn when they're clearly not working together at the moment. Whether they can work again like they did last season, I don't know. Open question. But I think we're showcasing them. Ben, I think their investments, both of them. Coburn is our record signing at 5 million-ish, I think, whatever the whole total package is. And we clearly had bids for Ivanović in the window. We may get more bids for him in January. Now, I think that, if we're a shop window, then that's why we're playing a pair of players at the moment that aren't really clicking, because we did start to look much, much better with just Coburn up front, maybe with Ivanovic up front. It was just one striker, and then the introduction of, Danny Kelly. So we've got like a stronger midfield. We started to find space. I know there was a sending off, wasn't there, which, was Lady Luck maybe smiling on us a little bit. But we found a bit of space and we started to look dangerous in the last 15 minutes. So I do wonder whether we're mistakenly using the two up front almost as a shop window. Is that controversial, do you think?
No. I mean, it's possible that we're not correct, and that, Alex Neil did see that really good form last season, and he wanted to give him as much of a chance as possible, that bit of a run. I think there is an element of both of them are fairly young. Ivanovic is still very young. I think he's only 20. Yeah. And when you listen to the sort of the podcast of the big former players, the kind of your Roy Keanes and your Gary Nevilles and your Gary Linekers, and they all often talk about young players as after a while you need to take them out and sort of it helps with giving them a bit of a rest and letting them sort of watch the game and realise where they've gone wrong and want to get back on. And I think the other side of it is it helps sort of the ego a little bit, stops them getting a bit too big for their boots, if you like. And I think that's sort of what I'm seeing with Ivanovic, is I feel like if we put him on the bench for a couple of games, made him desperate to get on the pitch again, maybe we'll see a slightly different side to him. It's something like that. And they're both they're both too similar at the minute. They're both playing exactly the same game, and I think they need to work out who does what role if they're going to play together. I think they're the two issues.
I mean, as a physical front two, they didn't impose themselves yesterday on the Charlton defence, who I thought strong them, and that kept them quiet. I mean, you can talk about the service. I mean, people are saying that Negley's being played out of position on the wing. He should be more central. It probably begs a different formation, perhaps. I really like Camille Negley, listeners, but I don't think he was at his best yesterday. I think he's a very intelligent player, actually, Ben. He played what would have been a lovely deft pass through, I think it was Kundal, in the first half at least. And Kundal just wasn't on his wavelength. It was a lovely little ball tucked inside, and he was, a yard away from the same thought. So I think there's a lot to be used with Camille Negley, but I'm just not sure about the wing side of things. I mean, if we're going to play 4-4-2, we need old school flying wingers, don't we, coming down the bylines, getting the crossing. We're not getting many crosses in at the moment, and that takes you back to injuries, I suppose.
Yeah, and we, at the same time, we're also really one-dimensional in that we're constantly passing it to the wing.
Yeah.
we
long balls as well, Yeah. Yeah, one-dimensional was a good way to sum it up yesterday. So I mean, very lacklustre. Obviously, the game turned with the sending off in the second half, which was a touch of fortune, really, because I couldn't see a way back for us until that point. And then the introduction of Kelly for Ivanovic, who came out of the game. And then we started. I thought we might press on and win it, actually. We got that disallowed goal. I couldn't tell you what that was disallowed for. Apparently it was a handball on Ra'ess Bangura.
Yeah, he's unlucky. Essentially, what I think it is, I think there's a rule now that if the ball bounces off your hand and you tap it in the back of the net, it has to be disallowed, no matter what. Right. He couldn't have done anything about it. It was about a yard away from him. And actually, the cameras showed him talking to the referee, and the referee explained it to him, and he had to accept it. So, and I thought that was a really mature moment from Bangura-Williams, actually, to be fair to him, because it was a fantastic goal. I think it's his first championship goal yesterday, and that first one would have been a stunner for it to, as it was. It's a bit of a not quite so exciting goal, but still important. I think he was unlucky with the first one, and a little bit of fortune struck us for the second one with a rebound, but it was very calmly and well put away. Ultimately, probably just about a deserved equaliser because of how dominant we were post the red card.
Yeah, we took control of it, which is great to see. It's great to see Ra'ess coming good as well, Ben, because You know, he's another player that's not seen much of the minutes on the pitch this season. I really like Ra'ess. I think he's a really talented boy, and it's great to see him, coming into a game that obviously hauled us back into one we really didn't want to lose yesterday. Yeah. And well taken as well. There was a nice move for the goal. Actually, it was a great pass in. Was it Joe Bryan? I haven't seen the highlights this morning. I haven't had the chance to. But from memory, it was Bryan finding Cundall. And was it Cundall had the shot that was blocked?
Yeah, it was. It was. I think even in the interview after the game, Bryan admitted it was the only good pass he made in the match. Everything else basically went off the pitch or to a red shirt.
Yeah. But well put away by Ra'ess. I mean, that was one of those chances that we've seen others put over the bar or wide. So to get it on target and in the net, and the away end exploded as you can imagine. It was a tough watch from the away end, the Jimmy Seed stand as it's called, and then when that went in, the place went mad. Apparently, and I didn't see this, the Charlton goal, which was the kind of goal that you concede when you're not doing much yourself, a kind of speculative punt through a sea of legs. I've seen it described as for 1-0. But apparently fireworks went off outside the ground. I missed all that. I didn't. This is from Will Scott in the news at Den. Some people set off fireworks outside to celebrate what they thought was a match-winning goal. So that's good to hear that the firework display was, damped down by that late equaliser.
But they were claiming that it didn't mean anything to them and that it wasn't that important.
I love that response. I mean, I've flicked through Twitter this morning, listeners, ahead of speaking to Ben, and you see all the usual. I think Phil Clark put about the hurt goes on, 29 years. The hurt goes on, and people saying, "Well, that's your cup final. That's what a sad life you lead if that's all that matters." But I don't know what the point of football is if you don't want to beat your neighbours, or at least not lose to them. Whether that makes it a cup final is I think it's all built on the premise, Ben, that I think Charlton see themselves as a big club, whatever that might mean in this. I mean, unless you're Real Madrid or maybe Barcelona, Liverpool, everyone's moderate clubs to some level, to somebody else. So I can't quite get that. But anyway, they that's their fallback position, I think, if they don't beat Millwall. It's your cup final. Well, they're setting fireworks off outside when they went 1-0 up, but there we are. Yeah. 1-1, it finished, listeners, and that puts us into 13th position in the tentative league table. I think 10 games is generally taken as the marker for the season story, Ben, as it is. Middlesbrough top at the moment, going 4 wins and a draw for 13 points. Stoke in second, that's maybe a surprise, I don't know. Bristol in third. And then at the bottom, probably a surprise also, Sheffield United on the bottom. They've sacked Ruben Selles this morning before you and I spoke, so I don't think that was a surprise.
Brought back Chris Wilder, as I understand it.
Oh, so they've done that, have they? That was the speculation. So. Yeah. What folly that was to sack him. But at least admit your mistake, I suppose, and put it right. That must have been a great conversation for him to have, mustn't it? Can you come back, please, Chris? We've appointed a dud.
I think you might have had a slight bump in the wages, Nick.
I would, wouldn't you? I would want a big bump in my wages.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, fair enough. I've always liked Chris Wilder, even though he's a bit of a thorn in our side. But fair play to him. I had to laugh at Jaffat Tanganga, who's become viral with that little wet football. They're trying to do a long throw. I don't remember him doing long throws for us. I don't know that he had a particularly long throw. I would have thought we would have used him if he had, but it kind of went like I might do. Listen, if I took on a long throw, Ben, I think we'd follow the same arc, the same plane.
On the evidence, Nick, he doesn't have a long throw.
I can't see Chrissy Wilder using him in that role again. I think he wants to be on the end of the long throws. There we are. Interesting post. I've just seen this one looking through Twitter while we're talking, Ben. This is from TJRG, Millwall fan. He's just watched Match of the Day, and Chris Wood. This is talking about Chris Wood is like talking about that ex-girlfriend from 25 years ago. You still hanker after, listeners. But anyway, we're talking about Chris Wood, who puts himself about in the first challenge of the match to set the scene, as TRG says.
Coburn needs to muscle up and use his size. The Serb is also not strong or physical enough at the right times. Without Billy Mitch or Kasper, only Luongo makes strong challenges. I must admit, that is a good point by TJRG, because the physicality, I think Charlton did strong us yesterday, and that's not going to fly over the season. I'm hoping that we're going to get some recovery soon for Billy and Kasper. I don't know how long either are out for. We've got a 10-day period till Watford now, haven't we? So hopefully that will help the recovery generally, because I do agree that the front two certainly weren't imposing themselves yesterday and looked second best up front.
Yeah, they're both, particularly Coburn for me, that he's obsessed with leaning into the defender rather than actually trying to win the ball and then trying to get a free kick. I don't see him producing very much, and I think he needs to strengthen up a bit and just assert himself a little bit. Ivanovic, I don't know. It's a mixed bag with Ivanovic, and I always feel like he's sort of got the right idea, but he's never quite in the right position at the minute. I think we need to play with one and have that sort of number 10 in behind, that we can go through the middle, whether that's Negley, Cundle, who actually, when he pushed forward yesterday, did quite well.
Yeah, I thought he's improved this season, Cundle.
Yeah.
Wasn't struck on him last season, but I thought he's coming good. So I think you're right. The two doesn't seem to be working at the moment. It might work in the future once both have done some work on themselves.
They're not suddenly crap, Nick. Like they were good players last season. They will come good. They're in a slump. We're just unlucky that they're both in a slump at the same time, and we haven't got a backup because Langstaff is injured. So it's
injuries, isn't it?
Yeah,
I also think teams watch us. We watch them, and they work out ways to to counter. You're right. I mean, both are decent players. Both have their strengths and their weaknesses. But I think physically, that's where teams are working out that that's the way to try and deal with the Coburn Ivanovic front two, and I think Charlton certainly did that yesterday. I didn't think. I mean, Charlton weren't much better than us. They were certainly better for the bulk of the game. But I was reading. Is it Nathan Jones? Isn't it? He's talking about how we're comfortable at this level. I think they are comfortable at a kind of a lower table level, but I didn't see much in them that really troubled us. It was that the goal that when it came was one of those scrappy goals that. We always used to concede scrappy goals like that against Wimbledon back in the olden days, and it was that kind of goal. So they didn't really cause us much danger, I don't think. But it was just we were poor rather than them being any good. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to their goal, I actually thought it was a set piece goal, and Bender got to it and punched it out, and we were just a bit unfortunate. But the finish actually is really good quality. He's sort of chested it and then volleyed it. It's one that we'd be quite excited about if one of our players could do it. To be fair to him, I think their big outlet was the left winger, wasn't it? Was that Campbell?
Number seven.
Yeah, he was tricky, and I think Leonard, who was struggling a bit yesterday, and I don't think Negley was helping him too much defensively, and I think he became a big issue for us. He's probably the best player on the pitch yesterday, I thought.
So, yeah, Leonard does seem to be struggling a little bit, Ben. I think, Father Time gets us all. I just think that he's, it's just a little bit slow. And as you say, I don't think he's getting an awful lot of support from Negley, who isn't that kind of player, I think. So, you've got to be realistic there.
I want to give a bit of credit to Amaku on the other side, who I think 2 games in a row has been our best player on the pitch, and he was providing the support for Brian and trying to get forward and showed that passion and effort that we want to see. So give him a bit of credit because he gets stick as well.
Well, he does unfairly. I agree 100%. I like Imaku. He is committed, and if nothing else, you can talk about how gifted he is. I mean, I think Ra'ess is a gifted player. Idem, I think, matches that more with commitment and power. But I like him. He looks like he cares about the outcome of the game, which is nice to see when you've
you've paid money to get in to watch a contest. And I thought he was effective. He's played well these last couple of games. I'm happy with him starting at the moment, although he does have his, so as some will probably point out, his limitations. Talking about limitations, Ben, I just wanted to mention the Swiss Ramble, which is like a financial analysis, football financial analysis post on Twitter, on X, I should call it. There was an interesting analysis of the Millwall financial system, financial setup of 23-24, so not this season back. But I think the lessons are on the implications are, relevant now. The kind of headlines, I won't go through the whole thing, listeners. It's like a financial report on Millwall. Too much for my little brain to accommodate then. But anyway, the headlines that the Berylson family over the years have provided £111 million worth of funding for Millwall since they arrived, including a chunky 49 million in the last 3 years from 23-24. So from 2020 to then, 23-24, 49 million, that would have gone up because we're spending, to try and escape. I know we've recouped a little bit in transfer terms, but that's quite an incredible figure, don't you think? 111 overall, 49 million in the last 3 years, 2019-20 to 23-24, 2021. Sorry. That puts a few things in perspective. Wage bill is rising at this point from 3 million to 25 million in 23-24, a new club record. I know if you don't invest in a side, you're not going to achieve. So that's kind of what we've been trying to do this season. But it's a salutary read, really, when you look through it, because despite our hopes and general kind of ambitions, we do remain amongst the lesser lights of the Championship. So it's that old cliche, trying to punch above your weight, Ben, isn't it? But those numbers do reinforce that.
It shows just how lucky we are to have the Berylsons, fantastic owners, both father and son and family, who have put an awful lot, not just financially, but as that shows, definitely financially, but also, in terms of their commitment, the amount of times they fly over to games, they are a part of the club, and they do obviously deeply care about the club, and we should be very grateful for them. And when you look at Sheffield Wednesday and some other clubs, the way they're being treated, it puts everything into deep perspective.
Absolutely. A last post from on this particular report. It's on Swiss Ramble. Strange name, listeners. I suppose Swiss intending like you're from Zurich. Millwall have lost a hefty £99 million in the last decade, the last 10 years, including 68 million in the last 5 years alone, as losses have waned in an attempt to remain competitive. So it's, as much as we moan in the moment, in the game, booing and all the rest of it, it is worth remembering that that's what's underpinning our beloved Lions, listeners. So I second what you've just said there, Ben, because but for the Berylsons, we'd be languishing, I don't know where.
And also, our 8th place finish last season could have been a playoff place, Nick.
Well, this is what I was just going to move along to. Talking about languishing wherever we might languish, but this is a post from Matt Slater. There's a New York Times, I think it might be the Athletic New York Times, report that the Championship are considering expanding the playoff to 6 teams in the National League style. I'm just trying to remember, I think the National League have a kind of qualification to get into the semi-finals system, don't they? Depending on how far down the table you play off to get into the playoff semi-finals with an automatic spot at the top. So this is adding an elimination round to the Championship playoffs. This is the proposal. And as Matt here says, it reduces dead rubbers, increases chances of golden ticket, which is promotion to Prem. It needs the FA Board's approval, and the Premier League doesn't like it. Ben, that's good reason to like it, if nothing else, mate. What do you think?
Are your business expenses playing hide and seek? With Uber for Business, the small spends that slip through the cracks, like rides and meals, go right where you need them. Because it integrates with leading expense platforms, You can say goodbye to surprise costs, missing dollars, or chasing receipts. Everything's track downable. Uber for Business. Make small steps that make a big impact. Learn more at uber.com/small steps.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
I don't know. I just sort of think, if we're going to go up, do we want it to be because we managed to finish 8th? It feels I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? Because we would have been in the playoffs last season had that been in position.
A couple of times. I mean, we've actually finished 8th a few times, haven't we?
Yeah.
We'll finish 9th in this system, you know it.
Yeah, it's not much of a competition if suddenly you can be almost mid-table and you can qualify and get promoted. It feels a little bit weakening the sort of teams going up potentially, and considering the teams that go up find it hard enough to stay up as it is. I'm not sure.
I suppose it produces the yo-yo team. Not that Luton are doing very well. I mean, they yo-yoed up to the Premier League and they've yo-yoed down to League One and not looking up to much. I always keep an eye on their results now because of Jules Saville. But they're not doing very well. They got beat yesterday, listeners. I don't know. I mean, I think the essence of this, as with so much in English football, and world football actually, is it's going down the kind of what I call the Super Bowl route. Once upon a time in America, much of this is built on North American models of playoffs with a kind of almighty crescendo match at the end of it that decides everything, Super Bowl style. And that's kind of how it's taking it. What it does do is it expands the interest down the league, which I suppose is its strongest argument, that if you can qualify by being 8th, Ben, somebody in 12, 13, 14 can entertain, ambitions of a quick run and maybe clawing their way into it. And playoffs are a bit of a lottery, aren't they? So I can see the argument that they do it a lot in North American baseball. I believe has an ever expanding playoff system for teams that don't win their groups, which I think purists and old sweats don't like. But for the reason that you just said, it kind of dilutes the competition a little bit. I don't know. TV would love it, wouldn't they? You imagine the TV interest in these expanded playoffs. I suppose they do the same in League One. Maybe that gives everyone a chance to move up and down, more movement. I suppose. Don't know.
I think all of this came about because I think there's a desire to have three up, 3 down from League Two and the National League.
Yeah.
That feels a bit harsh, doesn't it, for the National League teams? And we're so local to Bromley, and having seen their sort of journey up to League Two, they struggled to get up so often because they were never going to win the league. But that idea of only having one other place and it's a big playoff competition seems a bit harsh.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you took it to international level, there's endless the Nations League idea that you've got, you help and assist smaller sides, national league, international sides like, I don't know, trying to think of an appropriate side, maybe something like Serbia or I don't know, Gibraltar or something. By exposing them to the chance of a movement up a level, you develop the game. And I suppose this is coming from the same kind of direction, whilst almost certainly making a lot of money for everybody along the way. Interesting report. Listeners, on the NewYorkTimes.com. MJ Shrimper is the Twitter feed if you want to find a link to the report. Needs FA board approval and the Premier League doesn't like it. I think that might be a big obstacle, Ben, to be honest.
Yeah,
if they don't like it, they'll be difficult about it, won't they? We'll see. I can still see us finishing 9th under the system.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm saying I don't like it, but I can guarantee if we finish 8th, I'll be going to the match.
Yeah, we'll have it. We'll have it. There we are. Listeners, that's great from Ben. I really appreciate your time, mate. With Palace tomorrow night, I'm going to wonder what kind of team we send out against Palace, whether it's going to be a first choice 11, shall we say, or whether we'll second string it. I think the first choice 11 need to show something. It won't surprise me if we see a stronger 11 tomorrow at Palace than maybe, if we'd had better league form, we might not have seen otherwise, if that makes sense.
I think he kind of hinted that Grant would play, didn't he, after the last game?
Grant. Yeah.
I think he said whoever we got, he'd get another chance.
Crocombe in goal, I'd imagine, as well, because I don't think he's done anything wrong in what the games I've seen him play.
I'd quite like to see Kramer at right back. Maybe that's something, because you've got the new... was it Taylor we got, didn't we? So
Caleb Taylor. He'll probably want some minutes, won't he? And whether the boy Ballo will come in and start, I don't know. He showed quite a bit of promise yesterday. He didn't really have that long to impose himself, but we did see. I felt
too early to judge.
Too early to judge, we didn't see the Mazusaku. So whether he'll see some time, I don't know. As I was walking out the ground, we were talking about Stephen Bender in goal, and I had this. It was I wish I'd have recorded it. Actually, it was a great conversation I was having with two blokes where I caught myself saying, apart from the world class saves that Bender's made for Millwall, his distribution's awful. What does he bring to the side apart from the world class saves he makes? I thought, you're up your arse, Nick. Stop talking now. Time to stop talking and go home, Nick. I said so. Puncture your own ego, as apart from the world class saves. Anyway, there we are, Ben.
Good to see Jensen back on the grass.
Yeah. I will be happier once we get back to normality. I on a serious level, I think that Bender is clearly a good instinctive goalkeeper. Just some of his distribution out from. I don't think goalkeepers should be employed purely on distribution skills, but. He does seem to have like a slice like my golf shot, Ben, which is always 45 degrees from where I intended it to go. There we are. Oh dear, Ben, good to talk to you, mate. Thanks for joining me Sunday morning. I really appreciate it, mate. Thanks for your time.
Always a pleasure, Nick. Always.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Achtung Millwall. If you're tuning in via Spotify or YouTube, please feel free to comment, like or subscribe as you see fit. God bless. Until the next show then, it's bye for now.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.